Hey class, it's Mr. Seagraves here, getting myself in more trouble during my spring break, recording videos and sending emails to you guys, but that's alright. I want to make sure you guys have this stuff. I'm going to talk just a moment about the project, and we're going to talk a little bit about printing a PDF. So I'm going to kind of kill two birds with one stone here. First is the project itself. I've got a Word document open, you can see here, which is the project file. And we're going to be forecasting future sales for 2005, and we have sales data that's available through the end of 2004, and that's great. That's all we need to forecast sales for the future. We need data up to the present, so we're going to assume that right now we are at the end of 2004 and we're trying to predict the upcoming year for the owner, Mrs. Jones. All right, now when it says include the 2005 forecast month by month in your report, that's the future trend. All right, so we're going to follow the notes from the slide sets and what we went over in class to do this. So make sure you go back to the PowerPoints, and it'll tell you step by step how to calculate the forecast. Now it should be somewhat obvious at telling you in here that's a trend, so we're not going to use any of our stationary forecasting models. We're going to calculate the trend, which is going to have our slope and our intercept. But of course, as you know, or as it certainly would make sense because we've been in this part of the class, we're going to have some seasonality in there. So you're going to need to, and it tells you to calculate the seasonal indices. So we're going to need to take out that seasonality, figure out the trend, project that straight line data into 2005, and then reapply that seasonality. When you calculate your fit indices, which it's going to tell you down here at the bottom to make sure that you include your fit indices, your error measures, make sure that your error measures really only apply to the past data. So the data that goes through 2004, the data that's 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. You have to compare what the forecast says the data would have been to the actual data, and you only have actual data for the previous 4 years. So hopefully that helps, and it says here make sure that your cover letter includes an explanation of all this stuff, because Mrs. Jones is not a statistician like you, and she doesn't really want to see your actual original spreadsheets, and she just wants to see the forecast. Again, forecast is not your historical data. Forecast is the future data, and wants to see the trends, seasonal factors, error measures, and so forth, and everything to be explained. So make sure you do that. And then this final note is on how to print a PDF. The first thing you've got to do is have software that can print a PDF. A lot of the newer versions of software, I believe the latest versions of Excel, PowerPoint, and Word allow you to print a PDF directly. And it'll probably say save as a PDF. In that case, you'd go to the menu and it would say, you can't really see it here, we'll move this over here. So File, Save As, and one of your options would most likely be a PDF. It may even say Save As PDF right on the menu. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I have installed a PDF printing software, which I use Adobe Acrobat, and that's fairly expensive, but there's free software all over, and I sent you some links on how to install Qt PDF. You got to install the two small pieces. I believe one's called Ghostwriter, and the other one is the Qt PDF software itself. And to do that, all I would do is go into my print menu, File, and Print, and if you have Qt PDF installed, you'll just pull it up and it'll be one of your printers. In my case, I have Adobe PDF. It just looks like any other printer. When I hit print, it's going to ask me where I want to print this PDF, and all that really means is going to save it as a PDF file. And I say OK, and it's going to just bring up a Save As dialog box. And this is pretty big here, so you can't see this, but I'm going to move it down here into the, I believe I'm going to. We'll move this down here so you can see it. I'm going to call this Project 2 Instructions, and you notice it's already got the PDF extension there, and when I hit save, It's just saving it as a PDF. And the same thing would work with any of the other PDF printing software like QPDF. So it's really easy. There's nothing to it. As long as you've got the software in your machine, the PDF printer, it looks like any other printer, and it just saves the file. That way, instead of sending somebody this Word document, that you see here, the formatting is not right. If I don't have the same fonts as you, it's not going to look right. And also with Excel, people are going to be able to undo or change your formulas and mess things up. If you save it as a PDF, then it can also be opened on any computer. Even PCs and computers that don't have Excel, they can still open up your spreadsheets and your files. If they don't have Word, they can still open it up as well. Now, what we have in the background now is a PDF of this file has been printed, and I'm going to go ahead and make this so that it's a size you guys can see. Oops, I just closed it. We'll open it up again. And this is the PDF that was just saved, and when I say print a PDF, this is the PDF that was just printed using my PDF printer. And now you're able to send somebody a PDF of your document. Now it's got all the same features that any other PDF would have. I've got my thumbnail views over here, and so people can scroll through the PDF. And the beautiful thing about this is, again, as I've said several times, you can send this to people that don't have your applications. They also aren't able to edit and modify the program. Now, certainly people can hack into this stuff and open these files up into other software that can allow them to change it, but your typical person you send it to is not going to be able to do that. You can also use all the annotation features inside and use the comment features inside Acrobat when somebody has sent it and save those notes. So that's it. There are some, I have mentioned the process of using a centered moving average on the project to a couple of folks. Don't worry about that. That's where we would use, instead of using the entire data set to calculate your monthly indices, you'd use maybe a 12-month period that slides each month forward so that you're using the average of 12 months instead of the entire average of the 48 months to calculate your seasonal index. And if you've got data that's got a really steep trend, a lot of times that makes sense so that you're not, your early data, maybe your trend's going up and your early data would end up with a trend with a seasonal index that was maybe only 0.2 because it was so below the average, but then the data at the very end would be like a 300 because it was so far above the average. It just would tend to make your seasonal indices look a little bit funky. People use a centered moving average. But don't worry about that for this project. If you do want to learn more about that, just grab me after class and I can explain it to you. And I believe there is a slide set that either you have or I've got that explains it a little bit as well. Okay, I look forward to seeing everybody in class. Bye.